Okay.
Good morning and a hearty welcome to the day 2 and fifth session of South Asian Online Literary Conference being organized by Sahitya Academy in and Foundation of SAARC Writers and Literature, FOSWAL. And today the fifth session is devoted for poetry reading, and this session is being chaired by none other than Muhammad Noorul Huda from Bangladesh. Welcome, sir. And I request all the participants to kindly confine to the time, because each one is being allotted with 7 minutes. So, without wasting much of our time, may I request the chair person of fifth session, Muhammad Noorul Huda, to kindly take over.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It's a wonderful moment for all of us. We say good time. In Bangla, we say Shubho Shamay. Because not morning, not noon, not night. Time now is, we can say, an eternal moment. That's why I say good time. Every moment we may say so, good time, Shubho Shamay. We are in FOSWAL, we are in Sahitya Academy, we are in South Asia. In fact, we are in the world as a whole, because every person as well as every individual is connected to each other, each region to another. So when we say something from this part we call South Asia, we say something from the Asia. We say something from this art. We say something to the universe from this art. That's why it's a great gathering of writers and creative mind, of writers and thinkers, of writers and people who can say we can conquer. Amra korbo joy in Bangla. You know, it's a good, well-known thing. What the role of a poet? Today we are all poets. We have other identities. Someone writes also, you see, fictions and other things. But creativity as a whole is seated in poetry. That's why I, as the person who has to introduce, inaugurate this session of poetry reading, I recite a poem. And with this recitation, I say that this will be open for everybody, and Sahitya Academy will lead us, will guide us how to perform ourselves there. A poet is the banker best, not a banker. I don't need money. I need something, creativity and shadacha, good nature, what I say. If there is a combination of creativity and good nature, then you are a good human being. So you are not bounded, you are not confined in a nationality. You are rather, you are open in the international, interglobal, inter-universal, we should say, existence of man, of human beings. That we can only understand, or we can only conceive when we feel that I am a poet. What a poet is? A poet is the banker best. A poet is the racist, the banker best, though he may be farthingless, deals in love of compound interest to all men and women, sanctions loan of union and reunion, lives in the whole universal and looks after you all, knows your oohs and oh-oohs, or where who grows, a witness of suffering souls, a nuclear seer and an old, never blind, never looks behind, never a poet, never avoid a poet, but from whom all of us are poet. Bank on a poet, the banker best. Seemingly victorious in defeats and defeated in victories, Lord Tennyson says for sure, the universal withers and the world is more and more. So physically we'll wither away, but that is we'll leave behind will grow more and more, and the world will be richer. Hoping so. Again, I say, good time, Shubho Samoy, Shubho Kobita, Shubho Poetry. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. That's why it is said in poetry that the perception of a poet goes where even a sunlight may not be reaches, but there would not be any place to sunlight to not to reach, but a poet can reach us. So thank you so much. Now I'll start with Bimal Guha from Bangladesh. I request you to kindly start with the recitation.
Thank you, Honorable Chair of the session, our Reverend Poet Muhammad Nurul Huda, the participants, the viewers, good morning. First, I tell some words about me. I am Bimal Guha from Bangladesh, born on 27 October 1952, entered into the realm of our literature after the liberation war of Bangladesh in 1971. I mainly write poems and also write literary articles, travelogue, memoirs, etc. Published 38 books till now, have traveled widely in many countries and spoke on our literature, participated in poetry reading sessions in literature conferences and festivals. I am associated with FOSWAL for the last 2 decades with love and affection from our Reverend Ajit Kaurji, the president of FOSWAL. Now, I read 2 of my poems. First one on our liberation war in 1971, and the second one on the on the present situation in the globe with Corona. The first poem, Poetry of 71. Today, with magic prayers, I place poetry on grassy carpet. Today they have charmed strength to stand up, to look back. Poems have become the marksman to go to war at one breath, to cross the mountains and gazes and trapped. Enemies who will be pierced in their eyes and breast and vanquished with dead bullets. Today, with magic prayers, I place poetry on the grassy carpet. Poems have learned to be the mind hidden in the grass, to suddenly erupt, behead the Al-Badr Pak soldiers who looted women. Poetry has taken root on 7th March in Mujib's thunder voice to a sound of liberty. Today, poetry is the handgun of a Mukti Yoddha with one stroke on the trigger bloom bullets to smear the enemy's breast bloody. Today, with magic prayers, I place poetry on the grassy carpet. Poems are now lively, self-determined word bullets. Travel all directions through ether. In a sacred radio station, Shadin Bangla Betar Kendra, in the homes of Bengalis, in the war camps, through thunderous voices. Poetry has today waged a war of freedom. This poem has been translated by Devjani Sengupta. My second poem is on the present situation. The title of the poem is O Corona. O Corona, take me if you want to. I am writing down all your awful deeds. Suddenly, I know not how, you spread plumes of smokes, blackened the world. What is the bravery you have? No, through the clandestine path, you entered into a different empire unexpectedly. before any comprehension. And a spread out poisonous fume ignited flames of wrath in diverse directions. Corona, I spit on your face. Remember, human beings can never be defeated to death. They know how to embrace death easily. Valiant never bow heads and clasp their hands. They are engaged in defensive battle. Today, I wrote down the detailed descriptions for the next generation. Someday, those who will read your dreadful deeds shall spit to your face with sheer indignation. Your route will be clogged easily, shall take over the duties of the earth with intellect. Then your entry to the earth will forever be forbidden. Corona, want to take me? Okay. But remember, the life cycle, the route, technique I came to know, I will hand over to my offspring. I will describe them everything. How you have entered these are like a nor'wester. Have spread out your unholy wind. Spread the life, annihilating poison to men innumerable. Today, I have noted down all your intoxicating nature for our future generations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bimal Guha. And now it's a turn of Pushparaj Acharya from Nepal to present his point.
Namaskar. I'm from Nepal and I'm currently in Toronto. So it's midnight for me.
Right.
And I would like to say namaskar to a couple, at least three people I've met before. Mohammad Narul Hudaji in some FOSWAL events long ago, and Bimal Guhaji, and Govindagiri Preranaji in Pokhara very long ago, who is also present here. And hello to everyone. I will read one poem and its translation in English. This is a poem that has been published. Its translation has been published in an anthology about the poems about mother tongue in Bangladesh, and on the occasion of Ekushey. So it's Matri Bhasha, and then its translation is Mother Tongue by Abhisu Bibi. So I'll first read Nepali and then English.
Please.
मातृभाषा भाव लहरी को एक नश्वर इच्छा लेखिन्छ पत्थरमा प्रथम बाल चाहा सग्लो गाथा एक चिनारी बोली भित्र छिर्दछु फेरि भाव लहरी को एक नश्वर इच्छा लेखिन्छ पत्थरमा प्रथम बाल चाहा सग्लो गाथा एक चिनारी बोली भित्र छिर्दछु फेरि अमर ज्योति झैं जल्दछन् नभमा मानव जीवनका पल पल सारा अमर ज्योति झैं जल्दछन् नभमा मानव जीवनका पल पल सारा यी क्षणहरू सब टिपौं शब्दमा रोकौं अड्काउँ बोलौं तिमीसँग रोऊं हाँसौं अक्षरमा लेखौं प्रीति मेरो गाउँदै कवि गाउँ हिँड्दो भानु पस्यो सहर उज्यालो कण्ठमा धारण उसको गाना गाउँदै कवि गाउँ हिँड्दो भानु पस्यो सहर उज्यालो कण्ठमा धारण उसको गाना चिं चिं गरी चन्चो उघारी आमा दिन्छन् अन्न जलको पिण्ड शरीर मातृभाषा प्राण भरेर चिं चिं गरी चन्चो उघारी आमा दिन्छन् अन्न जलको पिण्ड शरीर मातृभाषा प्राण भरेर जब जब बोल्दछु भित्री सत्य जब जब सोच्दछु बलियो विचार जब जब बोल्दछु भित्री सत्य जब जब सोच्दछु बलियो विचार चिताको जस्तो अग्नि जलेर गाउँछु एक्लै पीडामा जब म आमा बोल्दछौ फेरि उठेर जसरी बाँच्दछु तिम्रै शरीर आमा तिम्रै स्वरमा बोल्छु आज यस भूमिको हृदय खोलेर उठिरहेछन् लाख तरङ्ग आज यस भूमिको हृदय खोलेर उठिरहेछन् लाख तरङ्ग रातो बग्दो छ तातो देह घुम्दै दुगुर्दो चल्दो आँधी अडी हेर्छु बाटो हिँडेको आमा तिम्रै हात समाई अडी हेर्छु बाटो हिँडेको आमा तिम्रै हात समाई एक बोकेर हुर्कियौं भाव अबका केही मार्ग नयाँ अब केही हुन् बस्ती नयाँ अबका केही मार्ग नयाँ अब केही हुन् बस्ती नयाँ सबतिर बस्तो फेरि पनि आमा तिम्रै ज्ञान र शिल्प सबतिर बस्तो फेरि पनि आमा तिम्रै ज्ञान र शिल्प. Now I'll read its translation, mother tongue, translated by Abhisubedi. Oh, my mother tongue, some fleeting flow of desires gets written on stone, the first cry of a baby, a pristine story, an identity. I enter the realm of speech again. Like eternal light glow the moments of human life up in the sky. Shall I pick up all these moments in words? Shall I stop choke or speak with you, or weep, laugh, or write my love in words? When a poet proceeds on singing, oh, look at the illuminated town, his song resonates in his throat. Mother, like a bird, dripping melodies of chirps, gives out this body, the mother tongue, nourished by food and water, imbued with life. Whenever I speak the inner truth, whenever I run strong ideas through this mind, whenever I sing alone in pain, searing as if in flames of fire, Mother, you rise up and speak as I live with the body you have given me. Oh, Mother, I speak in your tongue. Today, a million waves rise from the heart of this land. Body flows in red currents as the wind runs in cyclonic rotations. My mother, I stop and look at the path I had walked holding your hand. We grew with this sense. Now your knowledge and art is entering once again the unexplored paths and new settlements. That be there, oh my dear mother tongue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Now it's a turn of Jeevan Namdung from India. Welcome, sir. Kindly present your poetry.
Thank you, sir, so much. Thank you, Mr. President, for giving me the opportunity to present my poems here. First of all, greetings you all from Darjeeling. This is Jeevan Namdung speaking from Darjeeling. I was born in 1951 in Mundakoti Tea State, nestled in the Balashan Valley in the district of Darjeeling, West Bengal. I primarily write in Nepali and have over 70 publications to my credit, which includes translation and edited works. Over our great epics, rich folk tradition have been an integral part in my literary imagination. Learning about the developments in other languages and literature of the world deeply interested and inspires me. I was awarded the Sahitya Akademi Award for my critical works preservation in 1994. As a representative poet of my country, India, I was invited to London by British Council and China by Chinese Writers Association. Anthologies of my poetry have been translated into English, Hindi, Bengali, Assamia, Marathi, and Odia languages. Here I would like to present my short poems which are as follows. First of all, I would like to present my first poem, The Martyr Fingers, Mera Sahit Aulaharu in Nepali language. Birth to death, you are my best friend. Success to failure, you are my partners. Identity has been grasped by me, so you hesitate to have your identity, my dear fingers. For me, you burn in the fire and shiver in the ice. They have become particles to let me live with pride and honor. Every minute, every second, they become Sahid or martyrs. Made of trust and dedication, every fragment of these wrote history, but write literature, but they have no names, neither in history or literature. Even in epic Mahabharata, no sympathy was there for you. However, I am grateful to my fingers in my battlefield of life. No Veer Chakra was awarded to them, no medals of bravery they got. Whereas even to win a war, fingers are to be forwarded first. Hence, victory can be gained. So I pay homage to my proud, undecorated and unnoticed fingers, who are in real sense are the martyr's fingers of mine. Another short poem. The title of this poem is Cholera. It is rainy season and there is an outbreak of cholera from contaminated water. Cholera procreates other choleras. The neighborhoods seem like hospital these days. The paths and streets are like booby traps. Neighbors have become like pimps, relatives like spies. If only it were about contaminated water, the germicide could help. But the neighborhood and cities are running on polluted thoughts. To treat choleras interact with themselves, deliberate among themselves, organize seminars. It's rainy season. The village neighborhoods are sick with cholera. I am living in the same locality where cholera lives. I too think of cleaning the water source, but it takes the cesspool to be spring water. He is used to looking at his face in the muddy water when comes the rainy season. When winters, he reaps new harvest of tragedy by sowing cholera. Cholera from contaminated water is for few days. Cholera from contaminated water is for few days. But more dangerous is the cholera of mind, the cholera of distrust, the cholera of uncertainty. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Now it's a turn of Susri Sangeeta Mishra from India.
Good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning and very warm greetings to the Honorable Chair, to my fellow poets on the dais, to the audience, to the august audience, to the honorable member of Sahitya Akademi and FOSWAL, and nevertheless, the one and only our beloved and revered Ajit Kaur ma'am. I am Susri Sangeeta Mishra from India, a corporate executive by profession, poet by the calling of soul. I have two books of poems in Odia. My next book of poem in English, Beyond the Horizon, is coming up in few months' time, and also my anthology, which I am co-editing along with my co-editor Professor Anantagiri from India and Dr. Marcus Bursey from Sunshine Coast University, Australia. Unlocking Hopes is also due in few weeks from now. With this, I start my poem. I have two poems to offer today. My first poem is actually a poem for poetry, or rather an ode to poetry. So before and the title of that poem is Odyssey. I would take the permission of the Honorable Chair. Before I present that, I would want to present the same poem in my mother tongue, Odia, and then so that will probably take a minute.
Yeah.
We have quite a few in the audience from Odisha, and they have specifically requested this. Here goes. Kavita mu khojuthae Ishwaranku, asuyaru onkara jae, mandiroଠୁ ମସଜିଦ jae, ବେଦରେ କୋରାନରେ ହୋମକୁଣ୍ଡରୁ ମଶାଣିର ନିଆଯାଏ, ଏଠି ସେଠି ଦିଶୁଥାଏ ଜୀବନର ପାଦଚିହ୍ନ, କେବେ କେବେ ମୃତ୍ୟୁର ନୂପୁର, ଖୋଜୁଥିଲେ ଖୋଜୁଥାଏ ଚିରକାଳ, ମିଳେନି ଜୀବନ କି ମରଣ, ମିଳନ୍ତିନି ଈଶ୍ୱର, ସେମାନେ କୁହନ୍ତି ଈଶ୍ୱର ତ ସବୁଦିନେ ଏମିତି, ଅଧାଛାଇ ଆଲୁଅର ଅଧାଛାଇ ଅସରନ୍ତି ଲୁଚକାଳି ଖେଳ। ସେମାନେ କୁହନ୍ତି ଈଶ୍ୱର ତ ସବୁଦିନ ଏମିତି, ଅଧାଛାଇ ଆଲୁଅର ଅସରନ୍ତି ଲୁଚକାଳି ଖେଳ। ପୃଥିବୀର ପ୍ରଥମ ପ୍ରଳୟ ଠାରୁ ଶେଷ ସକାଳ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ସବୁ ଜରୁରୀ ବେଳାରେ ଏଠି ନିଖୋଜ ଈଶ୍ୱର। ପୃଥିବୀର ପ୍ରଥମ ପ୍ରଳୟ ଠାରୁ ଶେଷ ସକାଳ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ସବୁ ଜରୁରୀ ବେଳାରେ ଏଠି ନିଖୋଜ ଈଶ୍ୱର। ପାଦତଳୁ ମାଟି ଓ ଉପରୁ ଆକାଶ ହଜିଗଲା ପରେ ସେ ପାଲଟି ଯାନ୍ତି ଭଜନଟେ ବିକଳ ଆତ୍ମାର। ଶବ୍ଦଙ୍କ ଗଦାରେ କବିତା ମୁଁ ତଥାପି କଳ୍ପୁଥାଏ ମୂର୍ତ୍ତିଟିଏ ଅଦେଖା ସତ୍ତାର। ଶବ୍ଦଙ୍କ ଗଦାରେ କବିତା ମୁଁ ତଥାପି କଳ୍ପୁଥାଏ ମୂର୍ତ୍ତିଟିଏ ଅଦେଖା ସତ୍ତାର। କିଏ ଜାଣେ କେତେବେଳେ ଅସଫଳ ଶବ୍ଦଙ୍କର ସ୍ତବ୍ଧ ନୀରବତା ଭାଙ୍ଗିବାକୁ ଈଶ୍ୱର ନିଶବ୍ଦେ ଓହ୍ଲାଇ ଆସି କହିଦେବେ, ଦେଖ ଥରେ ଦର୍ପଣ କେମିତି ଝଟକୁଛି ତୋ ଭିତରେ ମୋ ହାତର ଏକାନ୍ତ ସ୍ୱାକ୍ଷର। ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ। This was the Odia version of the poem, which is supposedly ode to poetry, and this is not exactly the translation, but the transcreation. The title of the poem is Odyssey, and here goes. It searches for itself in acclaims, in slanders, in temples, mosques, churches, scriptures, sculptures, touch, smell, vision, wonder, passes through dark tunnels, deep water, jumps into the receiving pit to reach the azure. It searches for itself in acclaims, in slanders, in temples, mosques, church, scriptures, sculptures, touch, smell, vision, wonder, and passes through dark tunnels and deep water and jumps into the receiving pit to reach the azure. The search never ends. The search never ends. Sometime it finds the footprints of life. Somewhere it sees scattered bits of death's anklet. It never stops anywhere, neither at frozen nor at emptiness. Perhaps this is what its existence is all about, an unending hide and seek between a spark of light and giggling darkness. Perhaps this is what its existence is all about, an unending hide and seek between a spark of light and the giggling darkness, sitting still under the efflux of words. Sitting still under the efflux of words, it keeps sculpting a figurine of the unseen. Who knows when someone would silently descend into them and smile in the mirror where truth sits translucent. Who knows when someone would silently descend into them and smile in the mirror where truth sits translucent. roads may end and the journey extends. So this is the second. My second poem is more on the present situation, the challenges what the world has faced, not only due to the pandemic, but also, as we know, the geopolitical turmoil, the climate disaster, the overall darkness that we have. This poem of mine is, is an endeavor to see the light while passing through the tunnel and not wait for the end of the tunnel. And the title of this poem is Beginning. What if we are already there where begins a new beginning? What if we are already there where begins a new beginning? As we float between a blurred yesterday and an unknown tomorrow. As we float between a blurred yesterday and an unknown tomorrow. As we are paused between the things and thoughts, aren't we moving from within? As we float between a blurred yesterday and an unknown tomorrow, as we are paused between the things and thoughts, aren't we moving from within? We swill into our higher self, writing together, walking together through air and ether as we question. We swill into a higher self, writing together, walking together through air and ether as we question. Roads celebrate us, and our challenges watch over us through the thunderstorm and lightning. Despair, fear, melancholy, and pain all pave way for us to the destination of humanity, the destination illuminated with our belonging, being, becoming, and has been long waiting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susri Sangeeta Mishra. Now it's a turn of Shravani Biswas from India to present the poetry. Kindly unmute the audio. Yeah.
Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay, I'm honored to be here today. I'm Shravani from West Bengal, India. I'm a Bengali, but I live in a different state, Assam. I love to write poetry. I love to write short stories, though I don't have anything to say about my writing career as you have. I've just started thinking of publishing, a few publishing here and there. Today, I'll read two poems. The first one I wrote during the first lockdown, when thousands of migrant laborers had to walk for miles to reach their homes. So one day in the newspaper, I saw a photograph of a railway track with rotis scattered here and there and blood. So my first poem, the name of my first poem is They Keep Missing the Train. They had missed the train. They tend to fall asleep, that too, upon the railway track. They keep missing the train. The track hums day and night of weird wheels waging war with gravity, balancing between the burden of nightmare and dream, of mangled bodies, loads of them crossing borders into oblivion. And next, of the little girl, her eyes wide from a window, wondering how trees, poles, houses, fields, rivers never go the way men travel. while a white china teapot, deft knitting fingers, a novel, a swinging water bottle, and sleep-inducing rhythm create fairy tales, the snug fairy tale of a railway coupe. They could never defy gravity or race against mercenary time. So they spread their tired limbs and lay their heads pillowing stone and steel. Their brains turn into giant cormorants, diving deep into dark watered pools, fishing the evasive morel, their life. And between sleep and death, track and fiery wheels, they hover, for that is what they know. They have never been real, forever ghostly. They slipped from promises to further promises, while the nation grew old and wizened. They had never got the train. They tend to fall asleep, that too upon a railway track. Yet the scattered rotis hit the eyes hard, and numb, insensate minds wake and wonder at the incongruous, the league of wheat and blood and a stubborn lust for life. The other poem, a shorter one, is Roots. Roots are hard to annul. Even when you uproot the useless stem along with the limbs, thorny, flowerless, and leave to dry for your winter hearth in the remote corner of willful amnesia, your roots sing day and night. Roots refuse to die. Their music drifts like memory. It rises upward to the Milky Way till the stars, caught up in its melodious Madhuvanti, fly in the confused night sky like doves of eternity, and vying with the invisible wings of marauding bats, they come down one by one. In the morning, you see stubborn green buds of leaves laughing like the dimpled babe in the arms of the scrawny beggar maid. Roots are dream-fed, star-fed seraphim. It's not the soil that counts, nor the country, the tribe, the gene, the blood. Roots are songs of yearning, of tenderness. The green elliptic light delighting the lonely astronaut beyond time and space, or closer to home, the familiar play of light and shadow under the old mango tree where once you fell in love. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shravani Bishwas from India. Now it's a turn of Soful Azam from Bangladesh to present the poetry.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. I'm from Bangladesh, but I write in English. Okay.
That's
so
fine.
I'm going to read only one poem, which has 5 parts. And before that, I have to do some kind of introductions.
Please.
And I have 4 poetry collections. The first one was published in 2003 in Paris. Second one, In Love with a Gorgon, in 2010. And third, poetry published on Safe Underwater in 2014. And the last, which was published this year in Ireland and by Salmon Poetry. Okay. Salmon Poetry. So 5 years back, I was listening to some interviews and lectures by professor and eminent writer, Nigerian writer, Ngugi wa Thiong'o. And you know pretty well that he started writing in English, then he switched back to his mother tongue. And just because I'm not writing in my mother tongue, I was totally writing in English. So I was thinking about what the return means. So, but I could have written in much in Bengali, but my command in that language is not very good. So a poem came into being. It came into being in Bengali, but I do not have sufficient command to write it in English. So I started writing in Bengali first. Then after writing few lines, I felt incapacitated that I couldn't go on. So I started writing in English. Then after some time, I started writing in Bengali. And then some of the lines are written in English. And after the poem is done, then I was thinking what I will do with this poem, because this poem is neither written wholly in English or in Bengali. Then I translated some parts, the Bengali lines in English and English lines into Bengali. Then I made two versions. One is English, another is Bengali. And that version was published in the United States. And this poem is collected in this and my recent poetry collections, which is published from Salmon Poetry in Ireland. And this is selected here. So I'm going to share this poem because I'm not reading the Bengali version. I'm reading only the English and poetry versions. Okay, it's about cultural crisis. Okay, that means I'm writing in English, but it doesn't mean that writing in English makes me an alien in Bangladesh or alien everywhere. So that's it, this kinds of thing. Okay. Sorry, I cannot share my poem here. Okay, the return, and I dedicated this poem to Ngugi wa Thiong'o. It has 5 parts. So part 1. Perhaps I will come back like a salmon fish to the same estuary again. I may wish to see my newcomers swim on that old stream, or perhaps I will stay away like a statue hewn out of a huge rock, far away from my grandparents' mountain, on another longitude, alone under another sky. But the return doesn't mean the return of my body, something more, your 5 senses for sure. Who knows if distance is just steam in a lead-locked pressure cooker? 2. As my body gets dry like the split bamboo this summer, the sound coming of it like cacophony on the air, I remember the old gossipy days. My mind was soft like a bamboo shoot. Is that only the past? Or is it the ripe bamboo's fond love for its memories still green? I still remember that over my roots, under my leaves, a toad took shelter during the rains. A few days later, a snake came to announce his rights and satisfied his hungers. Next, it flicked its forked tongue and ate me too. 3. The taste of crescent-shaped rice dumplings on a winter morning, the broth of a curry with swamp burbs and leaf amarnath, a little spicy rice flowers slightly fried with margosa leaves on a moonless night. I'm wondering if all these memories have turned pale under the stone of distance. Perhaps so. Or perhaps I've lost all those memories like marbles, lost in knee-deep mud from the knot of my lungi while bathing in a lert's pond. But some fossils of that time are still preserved in my mind's museum. 4. Bathing in canal, she got a tiny shrimp and tangled her hair, bound tight by a red ribbon. And from then on, I used to call her the shrimp girl. Sitting on a land isle, there on cornfields, she sang, letting her goats graze on. I clasped her breast from behind and said, "These wood apples are soft." She held her head low in shame. Who knows where she is now? Her mind was soft like a sapodilla, and I have remained the fruit-eating bat all my life, here and abroad. 5. Then I flapped my wings and flew to another language, the country you cannot catch hold of in a net of longitudes and latitudes. Then I forgot the biological pool of the language I had learned in my mother's womb. Some say I've lost the silver of Gangetic Ilias as I swam in the other water caught in weeds. Of course, I talk about the other way round. trust me, one can't be a different man with a different dress on. You have just stopped before it. Sadly, never beyond it. So this is the poem. Thank you very much. And I have one kind of, or we can say, impressions that even though South Asian poets writing in English nowadays, and they are very much criticized by nativist critics and linguistic chauvinists here and there. So, but they sometimes treat that we are inner immigrants in our own country. So this is not very good. And most of my poems are published across the world in different international journals, and I'm regularly anthologized across the world. But one particular thing is that I'm bringing something new to the English language, English literature. It's not that I'm writing their literature, okay? So this is something the nativist critics and the linguistic chauvinists here in my country and elsewhere in the South Asian region should understand. Thank you very much for giving me this time to read my poems and thoughts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Safil Azam, for presenting your poetry. Now, I welcome Govindagiri Prerna from Nepal to present his poetry.
Namaste and greetings to all from Sahitya Akademi and Chairperson Narul Huda. I had a chance to meet him in the last SAARC Literature Festival in Delhi, and last time also we are in a virtual session, and this is the second time we are joining in virtual ceremony like this. My name is Govindagiri Prerna. I am originally from Nepal, and now I divide my time in Nepal, India, and USA. Right now I am in USA, and it's a midnight, about 1 o'clock. It's a morning, so it's a kind of a sleepy time. But I'm writing since for 45 years or so, and I have published 25 books of fiction, poetry, drama, essay, and novel and poetry. And poetry is my first love. I love writing poetry. Yeah, I had written one poem directly in Hindi, and it was published in Kadambini magazine in 1987. And a few of my poems has been translated in Bengali language also, and it was published in Dhaka. And since a couple of years, I'm trying to write in English also. And today I'm reciting 3 small poems directly written in English. And right now, since I'm living in USA also, some of my poems has been published in magazines, literary magazines here in US also. Today I want to dedicate all these my poems to those who lost their lives in this corona pandemic, especially the writers of the whole planet. I want to dedicate all these poems to those who lost their lives, the writers of the world. First poem is Postmodern Death. Postmodern sun rises, postmodern moon rises, postmodern sky smiles, postmodern river sings, postmodern flower blooms. All of a sudden, scene changes, weather changes. Instead of sun and moon, sky, river, and flower appears corona, postmodern disease, bringing postmodern death in this postmodern era, Second poem is Refugee. I was born here, but it's not my country. I was born here, but it's not my country. My parents told our country is far away. They left their country to save their life. They left their house, they left their village, they left their relatives, they left their country, they left everything. On the way at night, they got refuge under the tree. On the way at night, they got refuge under the tree. all of a sudden they heard a big sound. The sky was blinking. They ran. Later they found they left their son under the tree. They could not return. They had tears. They lost their beloved son. They survived, but the cost of survival was unthinkable. They never forgot that night, the horrifying sound and blinking of sky. I am looking in their eyes, lost hope to reunite in their lost country and the lost son.
That's great.
And third poem is Fall. Oh, again, fall arrived. Now, fall is one of the season in US. That's why the title is Fall. Oh, again, fall arrived. Trees are changing colors. Ground looks like a big painting. One after another leaf falling down. I touch my face. Skin are soft, but I feel lots of wrinkles. From the window, I witness every year leaves falling down. Again, new leaves appear in the spring. Later, green leaves cover all the tree. My wrinkles doesn't fall, nor comes new fresh skin. I am old now. People don't like to talk. They have no time. They want to watch the falling leaves. They take a selfie. Oh, what a wonderful scene. Once again, fall arrived. Once again, fall arrived. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Govind Giri friend from Nepal for presenting wonderful poetry. Now it's the turn of Chair Muhammad Nurul Huda to present his poetry.
Thank you very much, dear moderator, sir.
Yeah.
As a chair, I've listened to all the voices from different parts of the world, but originated from somewhere from on this earth. And I found that it is very interesting to find that people born in South Asia, say in Nepal or India or Bangladesh, or on any shore of this Ganges Delta, roaming to France or USA or elsewhere, or just seated, living in a corner place of Bangladesh, but speaking for all voices, for all citizens of the world. And somebody says the roots refuse to die. I picked up this message, and in fact, poems today I have heard seems to me most interesting of the recent lines I have heard, of read, gone through, because this is not only poetry. There are some, you see, some propositions, and also oppositions, and also mingling of facts, and as well as, I should say, arguments, trying to in dialectic way give birth to a new voice. As I heard from Shafiul Ajam, or Shushmita Sangeeta Mishra, or Govinda Giri Prema, or Saboni Vishwas, or Pushpita Acharya. I don't know whether I have named everybody or not. If I missed, I'm sorry. I think I have been able to name everybody. I have no other time, no more time to say many things about that, but I believe that everyone is a creative soul, and as well as they are conscious of what they are writing. Even the newest poet, who perhaps she is Saboni Vishwas, as she said that this is for the first time that she is reciting her poems written during the Corona pandemic. I start with a small poem. This is called Anywhere. Born anywhere, you are a citizen everywhere. Share land, water, sky, and the vast universe. This universe is ours. And there's another small poem I don't live in moment. I live in eternity. From this kind of understanding, this small poem grows. As I sleep, I sink into eternity. As I wake up, I live beyond eternity. Now there is a poem about language. I refer to Shafiul Ajam, perhaps he's from Bangladesh. He's a good friend of mine. Self-language, Shafi. I'm speaking of not Bangla language, not English language, not Nepalese language, no other language, self-language. Me, Huda has a language. Shafiul has a language. Misra has a language. As I attempt to write you, I often write myself. Do I then know no language other than myself? Since my birth, 51 letters call on me. Do I then obey no other language nourishing me? I obey or not, I know you have your own language too. Maybe I would not decipher it during this my life. So some language remains unknown, even to self. In fact, all languages of the world are translations of your original feelings, known and translated into the language of your mother, we call mother language. So I propose for a art mother language, combining all the languages of the world, combining all the selves of the world. This is, I know, is an utopia, but this utopia may come true if we go for an art state. In 2010, I drafted such a proposition in poetry with these reading of this poem, Moon Alphabet, not alphabet from this world, Moon Alphabet. I come to the end of my, reading. I then shall say nothing because there ends my voice. I pay tribute to our mother Earth, our mother South Asia, Ojitji, and all her offsprings, like all of us, sons and daughters, because we believe in the uniqueness of a self. Say, symbolically, that self is Ojitji, representing South Asia or the world as a whole. Moon alphabet. And new alphabet soon came down from the moon. Not Bengali, English, Hebrew, Arabic, or Greek, hence unknown. As Horace or Bharat Muni surveyed our ways back home. Midnight walks across the seas, cities, ages, and domes. You too joined the procession neither to a village nor a town. Who are you? Son of Jocasta? Or someone ever unknown? Sleeping in dreams, worrying to capture father's crown? Nor a king, nor a tenant, nor white, black, or brown, all the time coaxing the cosmos, ups and downs. We said no. Moon replied no. As headstrong, she followed us. And Bushuku was sleeping in midnight on the leaves of grass. I saw Whitman undressed, hugging Kanupa on the bank of Dhamshiri. As fisherwoman brought the lamp of fireflies for gay poetry lovers. We looked around. Whales flocked on the sandy shore of Daryanagar. Skulls of voracious eaters floated on the waves far and near. Kings and warriors rode. The lions fled back with friendly tigers, and the universe continued flying nowhere in the delightful tremor. So the moon returned, whispering the tales of Helen and Menelaus, and poked Jibanananda to ink a fresh saga of embarking at Hades' bus. Inspiring a poet, not born yet, inspiring a poet, not born yet, in the dews pregnant with moon's beam. Fetters of land, language and letters known so long, who would train? Fetters of language, letters known so long, Who would dream? Who would dream? Thank you very much for this dream.
Thank you so much thank you all of you for sharing the language of biological language, root language, self-language, mother language, and the language of earth. Thank you so much. I sincerely thank all of you, especially the chair of this fifth session, Muhammad Nurul Huda, and all the poets for devoting your time to recitate your poems. On behalf of Dr. K. Srinivas Rao, Secretary, Sahitya Akademi, and Dr. Ajit Kaurji, the President of FOSWAL, I sincerely thank all of you for once again for devoting your time. So see you in some other poetry session. Till then, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.